and welcome to Just For You, where our lighting is 100% controlled by the sun. So I procrastinate a lot, and I know I procrastinate a lot. And the funny thing is, every time I want to do something about it, I procrastinate a lot. So half of the things I have planned throughout the year never see the light of day, and the other half doesn't even make it halfway. So if you're like me and you struggle with this word over here, yeah, I guess this video is just for you. Just to keep things a little interesting, we've decided to name this video the Homo-sapiens Guide to Procrastination. So, first things first, you need to get started. Bluma Zurkinek was a Soviet psychologist who came up with what is known as the Zurkinek effect. It basically states that incomplete or interrupted tasks are easier to remember than complete tasks. So once you get started and you have enough momentum, your brain will start pestering you to actually complete that task. So it doesn't matter what you want to do, whether it's becoming a pop star, or maybe becoming a neuroscientist, or maybe even the president of your own country. So unless you get started, you will never really see the fruits of any of these things. So make sure you get started in whatever it is you're doing. So after you get started, the second thing you have to do is break it down and enjoy those small victories. It's hard not to feel a little bit overwhelmed when you start something, especially if you're totally new to it. So breaking it down is a great way to get over whatever preconceived fears you have. And a lot of the times we procrastinate because when we see the task, it seems so huge and we just decide to put it in a box labeled later, and that later never comes. So breaking it down is always a great way to go with whatever task you want to do. Let's take me for example. I want to run for president, and at first glance that might seem like a very huge task, but personally I like using the internet and whatever I can find to help me break it down. I mean, like right here I can just go to WikiHow and type learn how to be a president or how to be a president, and there you go. Yeah, there's a lot of information on the web just to show you how to do whatever you want to do. So learn to break it down, and after you break it down, try your best to enjoy those small victories. Enjoying those small victories is a great way to reinforce yourself to actually finish the task, and it gives you this sense of drive to take on bigger and bolder tasks. So enjoy those tiny little things. Like me right now, I guess this is my first public service announcement of Ekari wanting to be the president of Malawi. Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I shall kiss your baby soon. So remember, break down the task. Any task can be broken down, and after breaking down the tasks, enjoy those small victories. It's a great way and a great motivation for you to actually finish the task. So after you've gotten started and you've broken it down and you're enjoying those small victories, there's one thing you need to know. Atelophobia. The fear of being imperfect. A lot of the times we fight so hard to be perfect. We set all these unrealistically high expectations for ourselves, and whenever we don't meet them, we get so disappointed and so discontent with everything that we just procrastinate and put it in a box labeled later again. We start saying things like maybe later, maybe when the time's right, maybe when I have everything I need. We start procrastinating because we're fighting so hard to be perfect. So instead of fighting so hard to be perfect, try to aim for progress. Progress over perfection. That should be your motto. So whatever it is, whether it's writing an assignment at school or writing that report, sometimes you just get so stuck because you're trying to be perfect and you just can't think of anything. Whatever you have in your mind, write it down. Just do it. Aim for progress. Sometimes good enough is better than nothing at all. So that's something you should always keep in mind. Embrace your imperfections. Progress over perfection, and sometimes good enough is just what you need. Okay, so you've gotten started, you've broken it down, and you're enjoying those tiny little things, and you're not trying too hard to be perfect. But don't expect your journey to be a smooth one. You're going to have a lot of criticism, sometimes even from your closest friends. You're going to have a lot of disappointments, and you're going to get demotivated. So the one thing you should always carry with you, always, is a very good reason why you're doing whatever you're doing. Sometimes it's good to have one before you start doing whatever you're doing, but if you don't have one, you can come up with one. Make it intrinsic, make it personal. That way, whenever you have a disappointment, whenever you have a discouragement, whenever someone's just trying to bring you down, have a good reason and always remember why you're doing it. Even if it's distraction, sometimes money, sometimes fame, sometimes so many superficial things distract us from our actual goals. So have a good reason why. And the last piece of advice you need to know before you become that procrastination ninja is be nice to yourself. A lot of the times we beat ourselves up when things don't go according to plan, mainly because of our own personal negligence. So we set all these strict rules and limitations for ourselves. We say we have to do this by this time and we have to do this way. You know, that just leads us to more procrastination. So have compassion for yourself and be nice to yourself. To err is human and to forgive is divine. When you start forgiving yourself and start accepting the fact that you are human and you can make mistakes and you actually learn from those mistakes, you start seeing progress in some of the things you're doing. So always remember to be nice to yourself. And before we close this video, I'd like to leave a link to one of my favorite procrastination videos. It's a TED Talk which I highly recommend you watch. It kind of changed the way I see things and I hope it changes the way you see things. So that was me, Ekari from Just For You, signing out. Boom.